Right now, I want to have a short segment that talks about the future of Nigeria, especially looking at a microcosm of Nigeria, Obalende, a dynamic community that has experienced quite a lot of the things that the country itself has gone through. My guest, Dr. Wale Adeduro, who is an author and productivity expert, has just written a book on Obalende, and I'm going to be asking him how it is that what is happening in Obalende actually represents where we are today in Nigeria. Dr. Adeduro, you are welcome to Inside Sources.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, in a jiffy, can you just tell me your new book, Obalende, A Nation in Motion? Can you tell me how it is that you intend to influence the policy going forward regarding the future of Nigeria, especially how family life, how the girl child and the boy child, how their perspective about a stable country, how it's supposed to proceed? I mean, judging from what you have written in the book, Obalende, A Nation in Motion.
Thank you, Laulu. As a matter of fact, it's an honor to be on your program. Obalende is a novel, and the setting is Obalende, southwest of Lagos, in Lagos State, Nigeria. Essentially, Obalende historically used to be just the next door to the corridor of power in Nigeria. You remember that was where Dodambara was,
yes, which
was the seat of power in the First and Second Republic. And as a matter of fact, some of the things that happened in Obalende are still happening today in Nigeria, and I want to let Nigerians know that really nothing has changed. A lot of people will tell you that things have so changed that everything is now bad and all that. Yes, things are bad because where we are is not where we used to be. However, Obalende had a wonderful experience those days because it was the government of Nigeria, as you have said. A lot of Nigerians from different tribes, Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Efik, Ibibio, Igala, everybody was represented in Obalende, every culture, every community. And people lived together happy and happy and happy. But with the advent of the coup d'etat in 1966, the one that happened subsequently, we began to see that things began to drop. And of course, all the pressures of Obalende, that because it was next to the seat of power, especially during the coup d'etat and all that, affected so many things and affected lives. Such that before then, the Yoruba man, the Igbo man, the Hausa man, the Ibibio man, the Efik, the Benin man, they were just one person together. But as things began to happen, everybody began to wish that this man would be in the seat of power. And over time, so many things happened. I remember something very interestingly. In those days, during what is now called the advent of the Second Republic, that the 1004 flats was the residential quarters for legislators in Nigeria. That 1004 that people think is just for luxury today or luxurious living today brought about some things that were very different in the life of young people in Obalende, especially the girls. And a lot of Nigerians will remember that there is the taxi cab drivers used to be called in Yoruba parlance Okoashewo, that is the consort of prostitutes. Now, that happened because when the politicians came to live in 1004, between Obalende and 1004 those days, was about 10 minutes drive. And for that ride those days, as it were, let us say it was just about one kobo or 2 kobo to drive there. But the moment the politicians came to Victoria Land 1004 and they were coming to pick girls in Obalende, of course, there was so much money to throw around. It became more expensive to go to Victoria Land, to go to 1004, than to go to Morocco or Ilado or whatever after 1004. Why? Because the taxi drivers would rather pick girls to that place, and it became very expensive. Now, that was where the deterioration of the values of our young girls began. to become something that today is so deplorable. And of course, beyond that is the fact that even for the lives of young men, that was where in the past, there was no stress. But over time, because of all this, young men began to challenge and quarrel with boy girls. Before you know it, things went wrong. For example, the book we have just written, the novel, Afion, the storyteller there, was a victim of a system where things seem to be moving and changing, but nothing really changed. So day in, day out, at some point, according to the story of that girl, the health center in Onikon, that is very close to Moloni, in Obalende access there, was where everybody went for health, whatever. But as things began to run down, of course, there were medical challenges. When this young girl became pregnant and was infected with HIV/AIDS by one neighbor boy called Onkubero, of course, there was strike. And of course, that threw up a lot of challenges for that young girl. Her future was messed up. So what I am trying to say to Nigerians is this: the culture that we had then that was peaceful gradually has been eroded. For example, Christmas, we just ended Christmas celebration. In those days, parents, especially mothers, they will wait for the last 2 days to Christmas before they will go and do shopping. In Lagos Island, the axis of Tinumbu, Idumoja, Gota area, Dosumu, and all that. Because 2 days, they were just smart. They say, okay, there will be sales, people are going to do sales and all that. But today, the closer you get to Christmas, the more expensive the products. So all those things, it has affected even the survival strategy of the average Nigerian. So what we are saying with Obalende is that if we are going to look at the future of Nigeria, we need to go back to the history. If we can play back that period before 1966 school, where everybody lived together, where politics did not affect or influence religion or did not affect tribe or communal living, then that will be a thing that will be of joy for every Nigerian.
Yeah, I mean, that point is so well made. Because
thank you.
In reading Obalende, A Nation in Motion myself, and the story of Afion, of course, the Christmas sales that you spoke about, how it is that these days now, people will rather wait until a week after Christmas before they make the purchase
to do shopping.
So of course, so it's a depiction of where we are, even with a lot of the inflationary trends that we are dealing with a lot of the hardship in the land. My question to you, our final question, Dr. Adeduro, is: so in your own view, you are not just an author, you are not just a productivity expert, you are also a political scientist. Now, so what is the way out of this moral, the condition that we have, that you described, our moral values have declined significantly. The story is told here in Obalende, A Nation in Motion, and it's a story that we are all very familiar with. But as an author and as a political scientist, somebody that has been in quite a lot of the sectors, how do we get our nation in the right track? I imagine that one of the things that you try to say in the book is that we have lost opportunities to transform our country, a lot of aspirations, a lot of expectations, but over time, things have remained the way they are. That's the next thing I got out from reading it, that it's like opportunities for transformation has been lost. So
the reality is that, like you said, there is moral decadence. And if there's moral decadence, what we need to do is to revisit our value system. And it goes beyond all this national policy on values, orientation, that are just, for me, policies. We need to go back to the grassroots. I'm glad that the government, the federal government of Nigeria, has just reintroduced history into our system. But beyond bringing a course into the educational system, we need to get to that system where there is value for life, because most of us have lost the ability to be humans. People are humanized every day. Everybody is, in fact, the youngest boy, just give the youngest boy opportunity to hold a small office of maybe primary school classmate, captain, a power there, because we have made people believe that when you have power is to lord it over people, whereas when you have power is meant to influence people positively, to improve their destiny, to improve their lot. So power is for service. So if the people at the top at different levels, whether it is in the political sector, educational sector, religious sector, in the industry, in the civil society, let people understand the essence of being a human. We ought to know that the other person deserves a life that is as good as the one that we deserve for ourselves.
Thank you so much for coming to Inside Sources, and thank you for your contributions. In
thank you, Laulu. Thank you for the good job you are doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to Inside Sources.